Okay, so there's this one company that honestly, most people hadn't even heard of until like a few weeks ago, and now it's suddenly all over the headlines. We're talking about a story that mixes huge money, national security, and the future of, well, pretty much all our tech. Let's dig into USA Rare Earth.
Yeah, for the longest time, this was just another small early-stage company, totally overlooked. But then, seemingly overnight, it's become one of the most talked-about stocks out there. So you gotta ask, right? Why is everyone suddenly talking about this one company?
Well, for starters, how about this? The company's stock shot up more than 40% in a single week. I mean, come on. A jump that huge, that fast, is always going to get people's attention. It's basically a giant flashing sign that says a massive wave of investors just showed up to the party.
And here's the thing, it's not just the big Wall Street players. According to data from a platform called StockTwits, the sentiment from everyday, regular investors went into what they call extremely bullish territory. The amount of people just talking about the stock, the message volume, jumped by almost 1,700% in just a day. But even with the public piling in like that, the real catalyst, the thing that kicked this all off, was something much, much bigger.
And here it is, the headline number that really changed everything. Reports started flying around that the US government was stepping in to back the company with a massive $1.6 billion investment package. Look, a number that big doesn't just fall out of the sky. It's a huge signal that whatever this company is doing, it's now considered a major national priority.
Okay, so to really wrap our heads around that billion-dollar number, we've got to zoom out a bit. We need to talk about this global competition. A race, really, for something called rare earths. This story isn't just about one company anymore. It's about the fight to secure the absolute bedrock of our entire modern economy.
And right at the heart of this whole thing, you'll find rare earth magnets. And no, we are not talking about the kind you use to stick stuff to your refrigerator. Think of these as magnets on steroids. Incredibly powerful, high-performance magnets that are absolutely essential for our most advanced technology to even work.
I mean, just stop and think about how critical these things are. The phone or computer you're watching this on, it's got them. The motors that make electric vehicles go, full of them. Those giant wind turbines generating clean energy couldn't work without them. And really importantly, they are vital for some of our most sensitive defense technology. They are literally everywhere.
And that right there, that leads us to the core problem. For decades now, the US has been almost totally dependent on foreign supply chains to get these critical materials. Now, if you're looking at this from a national security angle, that's not just a problem. It's a massive vulnerability. It's a weak link. And the US government is dead set on fixing this and fixing it fast.
Ed, cue the entrance of USA Rare Earth. The company is basically stepping up with a uniquely American solution. They're proposing a complete, domestic mine-to-magnet supply chain. The idea is simple but powerful. Mine the raw materials here, process them here, and manufacture the final high-tech magnets right here. All of it happening on US soil.
Now, you might have already heard of their main competitor, a company called MP Materials. And they're a big deal, for sure. But here's the key difference, and it's a really important one. While MP Materials mostly focuses on the more common light rare earths, USA Rare Earth is going after a deposit down in Texas that's super rich in what are called heavy rare earths. And trust me, that isn't just a small detail, it's the core of their entire strategy.
So what exactly are these heavy rare earths? You can kind of think of them as the rarest of the rare. They're much less common, but they're absolutely vital for the highest performance applications out there. Why? Because they can do things like withstand much higher temperatures and create way stronger magnetic fields. These are non-negotiable features for things like, say, the guidance system on a fighter jet or the motor in a high-performance EV. So by focusing on these, USA Rare Earth isn't just copying what others are doing. They're trying to fill what is arguably the most critical gap in the entire US supply chain.
But, and this is a really big but, despite all this incredible potential, we have to be real here. This is a super high-stakes gamble. There are enormous risks involved that you just cannot ignore. First and foremost, you need to know that USA Rare Earth is a pre-revenue company. That's a fancy way of saying that right now it isn't really bringing in any significant income from its operations. Everything is based on a plan for the future. Think about this for a second. On one side of the scale, you have pretty much $0 in annual revenue. And on the other side, investors are valuing the company at $3.7 billion. That entire valuation, every single penny of it, is built on the hope and the belief that its big mine-to-magnet plan is actually going to succeed.
And that success is definitely not right around the corner. I mean, look at the company's own timeline. The first magnet factory isn't scheduled to be done until 2026, and the actual mining at the Round Top site, that's not even projected to start until 2028. We are talking about a very, very long-term play here.
Which, of course, brings us right back to the central question. Why would the government pour over $1 billion into a company with no revenue and a timeline that stretches years into the future? Well, the answer is simple. It's strategy. This isn't just an investment, it's a bet on securing the future.
Now, if we look at the reported details of the deal, it gets even more interesting. The government's entry price is said to be $17.17 a share. But by the time this news hit the public, the market was already trading the stock at nearly $25. That's a premium of about 44%, which just shows you how much excitement and value the market placed on the government's stamp of approval.
Okay, let's put all the pieces on the table and see what we've got. We have a pre-revenue company, we have a massive government investment, and we have a mission that's deeply tied to national security. So what's the big picture here? What does this all mean when you add it up?
All right, here's the takeaway. What we're looking at with USA Rare Earth is a classic high-risk, high-reward play. It's a bet on securing a domestic tech supply chain. Their focus on those heavy rare earths gives them a really unique strategic edge. And that huge government investment, well, that definitely de-risks the project quite a bit. But execution is still everything. And it's important to remember, this company is still years away from seeing any significant revenue or production.
And all of that leaves us with the billion-dollar question, doesn't it? This is so much more than just an investment in a single company. It's a massive bet on an entire strategy to bring a critical industry back to American shores. The pieces are in place, the money has been committed, but the question remains, will this massive bet be the thing that finally secures America's technological independence? Only time is going to tell.